Just acknowledging those here at the front table. This is my family. That's my brother Raymond, and that's my brother Doug, and his lady friend Tracy, and of course my wife Donna.
Okay.
Right out there on the baseball diamond. And who knew?
Right. That I knew.
Way back in 1955, right out there, my buddy Larry Murphy. Right, Larry? I was wearing some white pants. And it was the day after a heavy rain. And when the baseball game was over, we were racing to the car, and of course, I slipped and fell in the mud, muddy with the white pants from head to toe. You remember that? Not a real good first impression, but she hung in there with me. Yeah, she did help me out. You know, when I first got here to Henry Ford in 1972, I had not been in the state of Michigan very long. I'm the son of an Air Force man, a military man, and we moved around the world quite a bit. And we moved here when my dad was about to retire from the Air Force. And we moved here because this was his home. And we lived not too far from here, so that's why I ended up at Henry Ford. I lived in this district. And I remember the first time I came into this building, it was in the summer of '72. And there was a basketball program that was going on, and I wanted to be a part of that program. I didn't know very much about the area, but I say all this because there's a few people that I will acknowledge because they're somewhat symbolic. No, not somewhat, they're very symbolic in what is happening here today in this building, the naming of this building. Willie Norwood right there, stand up, Willie, just wait for a second. I acknowledge Willie because Willie is a former Detroit Piston, and he was running the summer basketball program at that time. And, you know, when you're a young kid, 14, 15 years old, the thought of being able to rub elbows with a professional athlete is really out of the question, especially nowadays. But he took me under his wing and taught me, you know, to be confident in myself. He supported me. Take me down the street and buy me lunch, and I remember I'm riding this Pistons car, and I'm thinking to myself, look at me, I'm riding with a professional athlete. You know, athletes today are not that approachable. But here's a guy who did something that he probably doesn't even remember, taking me to get a sandwich and stuff like that. But little things like that, when you take time to help someone, when you take time to acknowledge someone and encourage someone, you never know the long-lasting impression that might make on a person. And I remember it like it was yesterday. And that was Willie Norwood, right here in this gym where it started. My man Harold Johnson over there. He took over center there. All right. Harold took over the program a couple of years later, and Carroll was a standout basketball player at the University of Detroit at the time. And he's one of those guys, you know, there's three people in my life that I played one-on-one basketball with who I was never able to beat. First, my dad, and then Gerald, and then the next person I'll tell you about in a second. Gerald was smart, but when he got to the point where I probably could have beat him and stopped playing.
Right.
But Gerald was one of the guys who took over the program, and I remember Gerald, and you probably don't remember this, but I remember we were going to play in the summer championship game against Will Franklin, big 6'9", 232-pound guy from Brother Rice High School. I myself was about 6'5", weighing about 180. And I remember expressing some apprehension about how I was going to be able to guard this guy. But I remember Gerald saying to me, you don't have to worry about guarding him.